Uh, Let me just, before I start with my relatively long presentation, ask you or explain why the board is not sitting here, though this meeting is truly between group management and the investors community. The board was throughout yesterday busy in committees meetings and of course the board meeting. Some of them had to rush outside the country. Some of them are busy up country. And one of them will be joining us in a very short time. So we see it more as a management, investors, media meeting today. And it's truly an opportunity for us and for you to, to interact with us and at later stage ask questions if you wish. I just want to ask the media, let's keep the program as it is. One thing when it comes to writing and reporting next day or even now, just make sure that you stick to the record because I do find the media from time to time, if I may put it, misreporting data as well as the way it is reported. It's completely sometimes out of factual data. So I'm just asking you, and if you need more written data, I don't mind even to give my presentation as a copy to you guys, but please stick. There is even today a full page advert. All the information is there. If you wish more, you are most welcome to get it. It's all in public domain. There is nothing we are hiding, but it is a request from management because we are truly working very hard to achieve these results and be even better in future, and we don't want it to be kind of misunderstood. Okay, my presentation is going to be basically based on the same. I just, presented one-on-one to about 16, 17 investors in London during Citibank Investors Africa Conference. And I must say I was quite excited to notice quite a lot of interest from foreign investors. To have 17 investors wanting to sit with me one-on-one was quite impressive, and I must say we are quite happy to report it. So it's based on that, and I will quickly take you through. There is a lot of data there. I'm sure you won't be able to capture all of it, but I have no doubt you'll get some headlines. It's quite interesting data. It covers 19 years of this company. Most of the slides are of 19 years. Okay, you know the story of Kenno Kobil. It's today Kenno Kobil Limited. The history is well known, especially to the Kenyan investors community. And since December 2007, it has become one public company after Kenol acquired Kobil Petroleum. Remind you, Kobil Petroleum was a branch of an American company, which initially was the Mobil, if you recall, registered in Delaware. We still have that company. We intend to wind it up within the next few weeks, few months, and this all exercise is done with the Pricewaterhouse in Kenya and US. So just for you to note, actually effective 1st of July, we are completely operating under one company called Kenno Kobil Limited. Even business-wise, meaning no entries, no activities in Kobil Petroleum Limited. About the companies, you know, we are quite an integrated company, active in all mid and downstream business, oil business, and we do have activities in in petroleum products, of course, lubricants, or greases, related products, specialties, petrochemicals. Recently, we ventured into, of course, the consumer sector, retail, resale, aviation, marines, export, LPG, trading desk. So quite a well-integrated company. And you will see today, for the first time, very detailed presentations based on the business lines, which we are very much now focusing as a group. And this data that you will see is based on the whole group business line performance. Okay, in terms of shareholdings, I'm sure you know our auditors, mainly PricewaterhouseCoopers, but in some countries where they are not represented, we still have others. But it's well, let's say, controlled by reputable auditors, external auditors. The board of directors, you know well. Mr. Oyatsi, I'm sure you are well aware of him. He's a Kenyan lawyer, well known. Mr. Terry Davidson, needless to say, banker, ex-Citibank Africa manager. Mr. James Mathenge, oil men. We all wish to believe that we are oil men, and we are all really oil men across the group. He is ex-Chevron. He used to run the regional, Caltex regional office. Mr. Per Jacobson, who will be joining us at later stage, is a Swedish. He used to work for us in the old days, and he's very much now in the property development business in Europe. Mr. Daniel Donier, I'm sure you all know, ex-Deloitte & Touche, an auditor. So quite. And of course, we have Ms. Pat Lai, the group finance director, and me as the chairman and the group MD. A quite professional board, and I would say with vast experience across the issues we deal with. We have a well-established board committees, audit committees, remuneration committee, nomination committee. Actually, yesterday, for the first time, we formed a new committee, and I may report it to you. It's a board committee, investment committee, focusing on all sorts of investment activities. And I can tell you, yesterday, we spent a lot of time on some potential investments in Africa. I won't say where, but the board is very busy in assessing our acquisition and investment across Central, Eastern, Southern Africa. And I say it clearly, we are not looking at West Africa at this stage. This is within the board mandate to focus on Central, Eastern, Southern Africa. And in that respect, Ethiopia we consider as East Africa. Vision, you know very well, and we truly believe we are heading there to become a major player in Africa. We are very much regional player, I may say even regional leader. Needless to say, we are well known as the biggest African player in Central, Eastern, and Southern Africa. The business lines, you will see it. I don't want to repeat it. You will see it in my presentation and Pat's presentation. The management is truly a strong one, strong team. I believe one of our reasons for the success story of Colonel Kobil has been the strong, innovative, creative, very flexible, well-trained, with high degree of expertise in the oil industry team. And it's not one team. It is the group management team, and every country has got its own management team. Across the group, I would say we have a very strong team. I would say mainly based on Kenyans, though we have other from other nationalities. We have Ugandan in the team. We have Rwandese. We have Zambians. So it's quite a diverse management team across the group. And you know, we focus a lot on human resource development. I think this is what this is the key for the future growth and development of this group. Okay, in subsidiaries and investment, you know, the only country where we operate the two brands is Kenya. Take note of it. The only country is Kenya where we have two brands. Not that we like it very much. We know very well that from marketing point of view and branding point of view, it's better to have a unified brand. But I don't want to go to the history. You know very well when we got the Anti-Monopoly Commission approval for the acquisition of Kenol, for the acquisition of Kobil by Kenol, one of the conditions or kind of understanding between us and the Ministry of Finance Anti-Monopoly Commission was that we leave in Kenya the two brands. So we still have it and we'll still have it for the years to come. But in all other countries, Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda, Zambia, Ethiopia, Burundi, we operate the Kobil brand. Zimbabwe, we yet don't have outlets, but you know the story of the agreement we had with the Engen on the BP and Shell assets. But we opened, meantime, a trading office, which has been very active recently, mainly using the Beira port, and I'll talk about it at later stage. Social responsibilities, I would quickly, I mean, you can go through it, but you know, and we don't think that it is not important. It is very important. We are trying to do our best, and this is only in Kenya, but we have many others in many other activities in other countries. Quickly, I'll go through the retail network with you, and it's quite interesting to see. This group has got, as of now, over 400 service stations. That's a sizable number of service stations, okay? And I want you to take note of it, and we have plans to expand it, and we believe by 2012 we'll have 413 stations. This is all from, I mean, the growth from 400 to 413 would be, it's based on the organic growth. I'm not even including acquisitions, potential acquisitions, and there will be, I can tell you. But take note of what we have. We have in Kobil in Kenya 89 stations, Kenol 67, and then we have in Uganda 64, 27 in Tanzania, and you can see the numbers in will be in 2012. Zambia 25, Rwanda 46, Ethiopia 65, Burundi 17, and I believe maybe even by now there are more because we just bought another one. Quite a lot of activities going on in this area. Needless to say, being in downstream oil business, in a way we are like a property development or developer company. Most of these stations belong to us. We are the owners of the stations. It's a very heavy assets-based company, and we intend to continue focusing on it and developing it more because we truly believe in the African story in the area of property appreciation or assets of appreciation over time, and we just, you know very well, 1.5 years ago, and I always give it as an example to investors. 1.5 years ago, we sold one asset here on Konyange Street. It's not a secret, we sold it at $6.2 million US. Yes, and we made a substantial capital gain, as you know. But now if you go and buy and try to buy it from the same guy who bought it from us, he would not talk of less than $10 million. And by the way, this is already been checked, meaning just to show you what sort of property appreciation across, by the way, not only in Kenya, across Africa, and especially across the countries we operate. The same we have seen in Ethiopia, in Rwanda, in Uganda, in Tanzania, a piece of land, a development anywhere in Dar es Salaam. And by the way, our stations are mostly in Dar es Salaam.